Cue the spotlights, shine them bright. Gonna have a grand new show tonight. With glitz and glam on the marquee. Perhaps a Tony nominee. Stars beam brightly, see them glow. Sell out nightly, SRO. It's time to applaud the Broadway Beat. Stars beam brightly, see them glow. In the footlights of a show. Life is sweet on the world's most famous street.
Tickets, please.
Take a seat.
Cue the band.
And tap your feet to the rhythm of the Broadway Beat. The Broadway Beat. Broadway Beat.
Hello, I'm Richard Ridge, and welcome to Broadway Beat, our behind-the-scenes look at the very best of what the New York theater has to offer. This week we celebrate with the cast of one of the most popular shows of all time, Gypsy, which has returned to Broadway at the St. James Theater, starring Tony Award winner Patti LuPone as Mama Rose. This Arthur Lawrence, Julie Stein, and Stephen Sondheim musical, which is directed by Mr. Lawrence, also stars three-time Tony Award winner Boyd Gaines as Herbie and the lovely Laura Benanti as Louise, who during the show transforms herself into legendary stripper Gypsy Rose Lee. We'll also bring you an exclusive look at the second production of the 2008 Encore season. It's the Mark Blitzstein and Joseph Stein musical Juno, which is based on Sean O'Casey's play Juno and the Paycock, this time starring Tony Award winner Victoria Clark. But we start things off with a few happenings around town. TheatreWorks USA have revived one of their most successful shows, the 2004 family musical Junie B. Jones, which is playing at the Lucille Lortel Theater through May 4th. The musical follows outspoken, lovable Junie B. Jones, played by Jen Cody, as she experiences a new teacher, new classmates, new glasses, and other angst-ridden first-grade situations as she records all her adventures in her top-secret personal beeswax journal. Co-starring in Junie B. Jones is John Scherer.
'Cause it's my top-secret personal beeswax. The whole wide world according to me. I'll call it top-secret personal beeswax.
The famed Ziegfeld Club and Mark York Productions comes to New York's Reprise Room at Dillon's for the month of April with Ziegfeld's Midnight Frolic of 2008. During the month, the special guests will include Tony Award winner Helen Gallagher, Anita Gillette, and Jane Summerhays. For tickets, dates, and times, email them at theziegfeldclub@aol.com. Backed by popular demand, celebrating the magnificence of Broadway, this fast-paced evening, a collection of popular Ziegfeld hits, represents the diversity, wit, and extravagance of Ziegfeld's original rooftop frolic productions.
Gonna be such a gloomy gust, you're making such a fuss.
Keep it light and make it right.
What we got is us. What we got is us. Now we'll share the light fantastic. Nothing grim and nothing drastic. Now we'll simply dance the whole night through. Midnight frolic all night. Frolic makes it alright. Midnight frolic all night long with you.
Now we take you into the rehearsal room and onto the stage of City Center for an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the second production of the 2008 Encore season. It's the Mark Blitzstein and Joseph Stein musical Juno, which is based on Sean O'Casey's play Juno and the Paycock. Now, the original 1959 production of the musical, which played The Winter Garden, starred Shirley Booth and Melvyn Douglas. For encores, it was Tony Award winner Victoria Clark, Celia Keenan-Bolger, Michael Arden, and Conrad John Schuck. The production was directed by Tony Award winner Gary Hines. Here's our exclusive behind-the-scenes look at Juno. What attracted you to this part and to this material?
Well, Richie, the first thing that attracted me to it is they asked me. No, I had an audition, and I felt good about it. And it was prior to the audition that they sent me the material, and it's a show named Juno. I thought it was based on the movie. It's based on Juno and the Paycock, right? So I'd read the play years ago in college, but I put on the music they sent me. And it begins with this anthem that is so strong and emotional and powerful. So it sucks you right in, which it did to me. And I was putty in its hands, and I came to New York and auditioned, and Gary, in some misguided fashion, cast me.
Let's talk about the role. Talk about who you play.
Well, I play Captain Jack Boyle, who is the husband of Juno. And he's a very unusual man. He's a drunkard. I wouldn't say he's a liar, but he has a way of putting on a good story. And most importantly, he lies about his past. He claims to have sailed the world and suffered storm after storm from the Gulf of Mexico to the Antarctic Ocean. And he's a wonderful, colorful character.
This is my first, yes. It's an extraordinary experience. It's a bit like, how can I say? It's a bit like as if I'm about to ride in the Kentucky Derby like a week on Thursday, and I've never been on a horse before. But for all that, it's exhilarating. I think there'll be a lot of adrenaline floating around and a lot of fear as well.
Well, talk about this wonderful role you get to play.
It's a fantastic part. I'm playing Joxer Daly, who's the sort of the comedy character in Juno. It's one of the famous parts in Irish drama, and it's very interesting to see him singing for a change, which he doesn't do in the play. The music and the score, by the way, is absolutely fantastic. I think it's wonderful. What else? I'm back in New York, my favorite city in the world. I worked here last year with Gary Hines, who directed me in translations, and it was a wonderful experience, and I'm looking forward to repeating it this time, only at City Centre.
Never let stone our pussy, not in his time of want. Walking so slow and gushy, does me pussy show as pussy front and pink when he wishes can stick his jacket in her. Wait, that's another type entirely. It's another man entirely. You're a darling, a kindly man. You're a darling, darling man.
What attracted you to this project and this material?
Well, first off, Mark Blitzstein's music. I mean, I was asked a few years ago to sing a piece of his at Encores, The Ballad of the Bombardier, and his music is incredible. It's really just so strained and beautiful, and so that initially drew me to the project. And then the play that it was based on, Juno and the Paycock, as well as working with this director, Gary Hines, it's just a thrill. And I've always wanted to do a show here at Encores, so I'm just beside myself.
Okay, so you, along with Conrad John Schuck, is an Encores virgin.
Yes, I'm very excited to get to be broken in with Conrad John Schuck. He actually played my father in Pippin in L.A. once upon a time, so I was thrilled to know he would be here, and I'd get to work with him again.
So have you seen Encores productions?
I have never seen an Encores production before, so it will be my first time in one and first time seeing one.
Okay, So I know you have a very short, I think it's 10 days of rehearsal, that's it. I know you know people who've done this. What are you expecting? What have they told you already? I mean, rehearsals have just started. So talk about that and what you're expecting.
Well, we've just started rehearsals, and we've been warned that it's like a crash course in a musical, that it just sort of, you can't believe that by day 4 you're doing a run-through of the show. But it's kind of fun, it's like everyone's pulling together, and we all get to have our books in our hands, and by the end of the first week we have a run-through, and end of the second week it's over. So it sort of doesn't give you too much time to worry about which choices you're making. You just sort of have to make bold choices and go for it, and I think the pressure and putting in that timer on everything makes everybody just give their all, and you can see just on every single break we have, or every free moment, there's always something to be done, so it feels like we're back at summer camp again.
Mary Boyle. I'm the daughter in the family with Vicky and John, and a sort of restless young woman who's sort of hoping to get out of the situation that she's in right now. And things sort of turn out not as well as she plans. She finds love, and it sort of betrays her, and the ending is very beautiful in sort of how everything wraps up. So it's a big journey.
And what you're looking forward to with working at Encores?
I've never done an encore show before, so I'm really, really excited. There's something about this whole process of it moving so fast and everything happening at once that I find very exhilarating and exciting. And this group of people is so wonderful. So
I play a widow who would prefer not to be. Maisie Madigan. She's a comic role, but she also has, like O'Casey, her serious moments. But mainly she's her good eye on her life and herself, like myself, really.
Do you get to sing in the show?
Yeah.
Talk about the number that you do.
It's called You Poor, Poor Thing, about being a widow. How awful it is, because once you've had it, then you'd miss it.
Oh, I can't wait to see that next week. How well would you know the play before, Juno and the Peacock? Talk about that, and how different is the musical from the play?
Well, at the moment, the musical is, the balance, as you probably know in O'Casey, is always very delicate between almost vaudeville and total tragedy. I mean, you go from playing a vaudeville scene into picking up a dead son, and you have to do that and overarch. This, at the moment, because we're working on the big numbers, seems to be jollier, but the awful moments are there as well. So you have to have those, and they are there. Yeah, it's I've never been in Juno, but I've been in the others, Plough in the Stars and Shadow of a Gunman.
Talk about working with your director, Gary Hines.
Never worked with her before. Yeah, even though we're all in the same city. I'm working for her company in the summertime, but I kept on saying to her every time I meet her, I want to work with you, Gary. So here I am in New York.
And I must hold it close. I must grab it, take it, hold it close. Who knows when such another comes along? I never thought I'd feel my feet don't touch the ground. And may I say, oh, if I could grant your greatest wish on this lovely day, your one desire, what do you say?
Well, I just went to Dublin, and then we rented a car and we drove all the way across Ireland and ended up in Dingle. Yeah, so just doing a lot of people watching and listening to people and watching the way they walk and behave and learning a lot about the history. So.
One last question. Talk about working at Encores, because Michael Arden hasn't done it before. Conrad John Shuck hasn't done it, but you've done this before. Talk about what you love about the experience of working at Encores.
I like doing this because I have to just... I prefer it in some ways to a longer rehearsal period, because the experience is very condensed, and there's no time to fret about things that that won't be ready in time. You just have to take your first best guess and your first instincts and just dive in. And I think it's great as an actor. It's a great exercise.
Closing out the 2008 encore season will be the delightful 1925 musical No No Nanette, which will play from May 8th through the 12th. It'll feature choreography by Randy Skinner and direction by Tony Award winner Walter Bobby. It'll star Sandy Duncan, Fred Willard, Mara Davi, Sean Wiley, Rosie O'Donnell, and Tony Award winner Beth Level. For tickets and information, visit www.nycitycenter.org. Well, now, the stage mother to end all stage mothers, Mama Rose, is back on Broadway at the St. James Theater. Tony Award winner Patti LuPone steps into the role created by the late, great Miss Ethel Merman in Gypsy, in this new production of the Arthur Lawrence, Julie Stein, and Stephen Sondheim musical, which is directed by Mr. Lawrence. After a limited engagement, critically acclaimed production last summer at City Center, this new production of Gypsy also stars three-time Tony Award winner Boyd Gaines as Herbie and the lovely Laura Benanti as Louise, who also transforms herself into the legendary stripper Miss Gypsy Rose Lee. We caught up with the cast at their recent opening night celebration.
Curtain on, light the light. You got nothing to hit but the height. You'll be swell, you'll be great. I can tell, just you wait. That lucky star I talk about is there. Honey, everything's coming up. Roses and daffodils, everything's coming up. Sunshine and Santa Claus, everything's gonna be bright lights and lollipops. Everything's coming up. Roses for me and for you.
Oh gosh, she's the best. She's the best. I feel she is very, she's got a lot of color to her, which I feel so lucky to have to play with, and I think that she is very special. I feel, I just think that she is one of a kind, and I get to go on the stage every night and create her and be inside her head, and she's amazing. She's amazing.
Well, it's a journey, and what I do before I come out on stage is I trust myself that journey is going to be fun. It's going to make me feel something new every night, and I'm just going to go for the ride. I'm not going to expect anything anymore. I used to do that all the time, and I'm sick of expecting it. So it's a journey from start to finish. It starts with a secret that I have that I want to share, and by the end, I'm completely overjoyed, just dancing on a cloud, because I'm completely free to give what I know is not a secret anymore. And that's my dream come true on stage. And so it's a total journey. It's like Arthur would say, it's like a one act on stage. And it really is. It starts from start to finish. It's a journey every night.
If you want to make it, twinkle while you shake it. If you want to grind it, wait till you've refined it. If you want to bump it, bump it with that trumpet. Get yourself a gimmick and you tell us.
Great. I love her so much. I think Tessie's marvelous. You know, she's a real person. Tessie's in the book that Gypsy Rose Lee wrote, and I find her very deep. I find her very moving. I think she's a little bit sad. I think that she's near the end of her road as a stripper. I think she knows it. I think she never quite did with her life what she wanted to, but I don't think it's made her heart hard. I think she has a huge heart. I mean, when you look at the play, so many of the things that Gypsy winds up with were initially Tessie's. Like, she's wearing her gloves, she's wearing her shoes, she's wearing her dress. You know, she's wearing her something else. The boa. I give her my boa, and I feel very, very close to Laura Benanti, who's just what a star. What a gracious, gorgeous, intelligent, warm woman. I can't say high enough things about her. And the way I feel about Laura, Tessie feels about Gypsy.
Electra. I adore Electra. Electra Illuminata I've come up with her last name. And Electra is is a very proud person and very astute. And that's why she's so quiet. She likes to make sure she gets everything that's going on. And it's a lot of fun to do it, and when I first heard that I was going to get to be one of the strippers, I thought, all right, Elektra, what can we do with that? And Arthur was very strong in his concept about it, and which I was very grateful. Bonnie Walker, though she put us on our feet with the original choreography, Arthur insisted on filtering it through her Elektra's experience, Elektra's mind experience. So it would be, Arthur and Arthur's concept and Bonnie Walker, and I hope my execution that made it work.
Oh, I'm so excited. It's a dream come true, because I'd hoped that maybe I'd come back here, and then all of a sudden it happened, thanks to Arthur Lawrence. He brought me back. Nancy Opal couldn't do the show because she was at City Center, and then Arthur chose me. And I'm so grateful to be back home,
Talk about this great role, or roles you get to play.
I got to play Miss Cratchit in the first act, who I didn't know if I was going to like playing, and I love playing her. It's so much fun, and she's so funny, She's such a, a witch. And of course, Mazeppa.
We all take a bow,
including the cow.
So business is lousy and slow. With Herbie's vim, Louise's fur.
Now all we need is someone with nerve.
Together, wherever, together, wherever we go.
It feels fantastic. I love it here. I do feel like I'm at home, and I'm just so grateful to be here. I truly am. Hi, Boyd.
Oh my God.
Boydkins. I love him.
It all started at, just 3 weeks at Encores, and no one knew what was going to happen. What was that experience like for you, and now revisiting her for Broadway?
It was such a fast experience that, we almost didn't get to blink. It was like rehearsed and then shot out of a cannon. So to get to go back and go, well, that worked, that didn't work. Let's deepen this. Let's, figure out what we really feel here. I mean, to get to do that, what a blessing. We're just so blessed and lucky, and I'm just grateful to be part of it.
Great. We had a very good time. It's been, arduous. And we've had our goals set high to try to make as true and deep a production as we're able, and even though that's hard, it's very fulfilling, to get as close as you can.
Well, you started out, it was a summer show at Encores, and no one really knew what was going to happen with this.
No, I thought it was a very short job. I mean, we had a very short rehearsal period, 3-week rehearsal period, a couple of days of tech, and then suddenly we were out in front of the house. And it was, I think because the demand for tickets was so high, so many people wanted to see it. It had kind of a rock concert atmosphere, which was, wonderful and incredibly energetic. But now I think we feel like we're up for the hard part, which is doing the play, and I think that's been our focus, to try to do the plays as deeply and as well as we're able.
Well, City Center wasn't going to pay for the entire company to be together for the 3 weeks, so Arthur asked to have the actors, and so 11 of us spent a week just investigating the script, and that's how we approached it, and that's never the way musicals are approached, and maybe this is a lesson for musicals in the future.
And talk about, I call them the threesome, you, Boyd, and Laura. Talk about the three of you together.
Oh my God, I love them so much. I'm working with great actors.
There's a trust up there that you all have. It seems so free and open. I wish you could step out of yourself and watch the way you all work up there, but there's something that goes on.
We like each other. And we trust each other.
So, I read that this was not a daunting role for you to sing, is it?
No.
Why?
The right keys?
Yeah.
The right keys.
And when you
first... Be careful, but it's still the right keys.
But early on, when you heard Gypsy early on, she was a role far away from you. There were other parts like Mazeppa or...
Yeah, it was the strippers or Tulsa or Louise. Rose, in a kid's mind, is not a role you want to play. In a kid's mind, you want to sing this kid wanted to sing All I Need Is the Girl, or If Mama Was Married, or You Gotta Have a Gimmick. I think all kids would probably tend to those roles as opposed to Rose's turn.
My final question is, the best part of this experience up to tonight with working on this show has been what for you?
Working with Arthur. Sitting in a room with the entire company and listening to Arthur direct, tell stories, inspire, lead. It's been phenomenal.
Curtain up, light the light. You got nothing to hit but the height. You'll be swell, you'll be great. I can tell, just you wait. That lucky star I talk about is there.